Welcome to A Shot of Ag. My name is Rob Sharkey. I'm a fifth-generation farmer from just outside of Bradford, Illinois. There's a lot of professions in agriculture, not just farmers, and I would like to definitely touch on some of them today. Today we've got Sophia Horton from Champaign, Illinois. How you doing, Sophia?
I'm doing well. How are you, Rob?
Good. Champaign, Illinois, in agriculture is about as good as it gets.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like the perfect marriage of a city and an occupation. You know, you could say that Champaign County grows corn, but I like to say that corn grows Champaign County.
Oh, that's clever. Did you make that up yourself?
No, I heard that on an ad somewhere and then just adapted it to my local area, to be honest, but I felt like it was so fitting that I use that sometimes.
So you stole it.
I did, yes. A borrowed idea is never a bad idea.
Stole my idea has two E's, right? Okay. Okay. You did grow up on a farm, though, right?
I did. I grew up on a farm. It's not actually in Champaign. It's about 20 minutes northwest of Champaign in a small town called Fisher.
Fisher.
That's right.
It's like with an F or a PH?
With an F. F-I-S-H-E-R.
Okay. How big is Fisher?
Fisher is around 2,000.
Oh, it's not bad.
No, it's
Dollar
not.
store?
Yeah, we got a Dollar General, a restaurant, and a meat store, and a couple of shops. So what more could you need?
Wish Bradford had a meat store. So that's where you grew up? That's where you went to high school and all that?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to college at the University of Illinois, which was a dream for me.
Really?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of comes to me honestly, though. I'm actually a fourth generation Illini, so it was hint, hint, nudge, nudge when it came to making the college decision.
So you were forced. Did you want to go anywhere else ever?
I won't say I was forced. My parents were honestly pretty good about
You were forced.
my options being open,
It's
but
called forced.
it was suggested
It's forced.
to stay close. It also helps that, you know, farm's 20 minutes from Champaign, and my dad knew he could have some extra help during the harvest if I was
yeah.
still around,
Yeah.
so probably played a role.
Well, I mean, that's it's not easy. Not everybody can get into that school, so you must be smart.
Well, thank you.
That's where I say yes.
Yes.
So did you ever want to go back to the farm?
It's a thought that crossed my mind. I think it's something that I'll always be involved with. Growing up, my dad has taught me I can drive everything on the farm except a semi because I don't have a CDL. Maybe one day I
You
will.
could drive it, just not legally.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. So I think I'll always be involved. But my brother's back at the farm now, and things are going really well. And I love being a farm manager. So I'll always be involved. It'll always be a big part of me. But it's also a big part of why I'm a farm manager and what I do in that work.
All right, before we get to the farm manager, what did you study at the U of I?
I studied agriculture and consumer economics, and my emphasis was in farm management. I also completed a teaching certificate to teach high school agriculture because learning how to teach and communicate with people and learning how to be a good learner is never a bad thing, and that's really paid dividends to me as I've started out my career.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
How have you done so much being 23?
Well, sitting still is something that's not in my nature whatsoever, but I'm also someone that comes with a plan and sticks with that plan. So when it comes to gathering experience, I came into college and I kind of lined out for myself how I was going to learn the things that I needed to learn and do the things that I needed to do to set me out on the right foot in my career. One of those things was when I was in high school, I was given the advice that, you know, you have 3 summers while you're in college to do an internship. And they told me that I needed to do one job that was my dream job, or what I thought was my dream job.
Yeah.
One internship that I thought I would hate, but maybe it would be a good thing to learn, or maybe it was something that I had never explored before. And then a third internship that was something that was fun or wild and crazy, or something that I really liked the idea of doing that was different. And ironically enough, that internship ended up being the one that I pursued a career in.
The fun one.
Yeah,
You did all that in college.
I did, yes.
I drank a lot. I went to Southern. I mean, U of I, you do internship, Southern. That's what we did. So what was your dream job, though, that internship?
My dream internship was actually to be in marketing for an ag company and be someone that did social media and wrote ag campaigns and worked on marketing programs for farmers.
Yeah.
And I still do a little bit of that in my job working with Clearview Farm, which I know we haven't gotten to that yet. But I found out that while that was cool and why those are great skills to have, that maybe wasn't necessarily my dream or something that I wanted to do every day for the rest of my life.
How about the one you hated?
The one I hated was working in grain trading, which I'm glad I did it because I learned a lot about grain trading, and that's something that helps me out a little bit as a farm manager to lean on that knowledge. But I'm also glad I did that one, even though I didn't enjoy it, because to me that was also a way to take that advice a step further and to also explore where I liked to live and how far I wanted to be from home. So that was the one where I lived 6 hours away from home in Michigan, which I learned was not a good fit for me. I like being home where I can be on my
Nobody
family's
wants to be
farm.
in Michigan. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm from Michigan. I'm going to hold up my hand and point to where I live. That's all they got.
I experienced an entire summer of that, yes.
I apologize if anybody's watching from Michigan.
I'm glad I did it. I enjoyed Michigan while I was there, but being that far away from home wasn't something that I wanted to do.
Yeah. And that grain trading that's a tough gig because the market never sleeps. You're just always rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
Okay, so you graduated. What you do after that?
After I graduated, I was fortunate enough that all the stars aligned for me to go back to a place that I had interned before, the Atkins Group, and to join them as a farm manager and the manager of their special farm, Clearview Farms, which is a community engagement and regenerative agriculture showcase farm.
My gosh. The Atkins Group, those are the ones that say you should only eat like protein.
Not quite. So the Atkins Group is actually a diversified real estate company. I know what you're thinking of, the Atkins diet, but this is a little bit of a different thing.
Do you guys have your own diet there to Atkins Group?
Can't say that we do, no.
Okay. All right, so people out there not real familiar with agriculture, tell people what a farm manager does.
Sure. So a farm manager represents landowners who are our clients in their best interest for the everyday, day-to-day management and decision-making of their farm. So this includes things like hiring them a tenant farmer, overseeing those operations and making sure that the operations happening are robust and will protect and preserve their farm, but then also a significant portion of financial analysis and reporting about that farmland investment.
Okay. And you raise rents on people like me.
A lot of people give farm managers a bad rep for doing that, but that's
justifiable.
Justifiable. There are farm managers that fit, that bad rep. But my approach to farm management, being a farmer's daughter, is a little bit different. In my mind, my job is to represent the best interest of the best interest of landowners in the management of their farm, and having an adversarial relationship with the person that is taking care of that farm and farming that land is not something that's in their best interest.
All I heard was we're going to have to renegotiate your rent next year.
Not quite. We're really good about working with our farmers and not against our farmers. That's what makes our approach to farm management at the Atkins Group a little bit different than what you might find in other farm management firms.
Farmers are old, just old dudes, right? And here you come in, you're 23 years old, a female, and you want to convince them that, hey, I am the person you need to work with, and the landowners. Has that been hard?
I can't say that it has. I mean, you just have to know that you need to find the landowners and the farmers that it's a good fit for their relationship. And not everybody is going to be a great fit, and that's okay. And so it's just finding the right people to be involved with and knowing that that's not going to be everyone that you come across.
Okay. Let me give it a little glimpse into your future. This is what it's going to be like here from out. This is from a farmer, right? I don't like what you're doing, but if you have a farm in my area, we should talk.
Yeah, I get a little bit of that from time to time.
Yeah. Tell me about Clearview Farms.
Clearview Farm is a regenerative agriculture and community engagement showcase farm in Champaign, Illinois. And so the mission there is really twofold. The first is this farm is located literally bordering the city of Champaign. Part of it is within the city limits. And so we want to engage with the community, show them unique crops, allow them opportunities to come and learn about agriculture. That includes unique crops and crops that we commonly grow in Illinois.
You mean you actually let people come out to this farm?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Big mistake.
Well, and I will say, with we get a lot of people out of the farm. So not only do we let people come out, we encourage them to, and we encourage them to come out in large numbers. So we've actually put up signs next to every field within the farm for people to learn about whatever crop is growing there. And we grow crops specifically to bring people out there, like sunflowers, for example, which bring thousands of visitors to the farm every year.
Oh, they want the Instagram
That's
pictures.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We had to put up some special signs and photo ops for people that were coming out there to take Instagram pictures.
Do people
and
just come
sunflowers.
out for just so they can put it up on their social media?
Sure. Yeah. We get all kinds of people out there, people that come out there just for a walk and to enjoy it, people that come out there to learn. And then we also will get tags on our social media from people that are just taking pictures for Instagram purposes.
So who owns this thing?
The Atkins Group. So this
Okay.
this diversified real estate company that owns Clearview Farm that I work with for, their mission is to exceed expectations and to enhance as many lives as possible. And to them, this farm was a way to live that mission and in our community.
Okay. So how does like 4-H, FFA, how do they integrate? Do they integrate it all into this?
Certainly. So they integrate in a multitude of ways, and honestly, the ways look different every year. So some years we give tours to 4-H and FFA groups, and other years they're really involved. So we've had FFA members that have used portions of our land for their supervised agricultural experience, which is a part of their ag education program, growing sweet potatoes, growing popcorn. And then this year we have a large group of FFA members, about 50 of them, involved with a new Illinois-shaped pollinator garden project that we're putting in, and those students will help us plant that and have helped care for the plants throughout the summer.
An Illinois-shaped pollinator program.
That's garden, yes.
Garden.
Yep.
Okay. Explain that.
Yes, so this pollinator garden is 5,500 square feet in the shape of Illinois. And then another unique feature of it is that there are river rock channels that carry water throughout it. And the garden has around 1,000 plants. They're all curated to be pollinator friendly in the sense that they provide blooms in spring, summer, and fall, and that they include native plants to Illinois, including dryland plants like what you would find in northern Illinois, and wetland plants like what you would find in southern Illinois. And this is a project that we came up with and actually borrowed the idea from a similar garden that's in Kane County, Illinois.
You stole it. Again, I got notes on here earlier that you were stealing ideas.
Like I said, I like to borrow ideas. When I see a good idea, I don't mind taking it and using it. But yeah, so our goal is to bring people out, to have something that's really unique for the community, to allow a place where people can come and learn about pollinators and native plants in Illinois, and to showcase the relationship between farmers, agriculture, and pollinators.
I wouldn't have done Illinois. I would have done maybe Montana. That seems like a much easier state to trace out.
It probably would have been. I think if we were to draw the shape again, which this time we drew the shape by hand. So literally we took a garden hose and we looked at it from above with a drone and kind of like shaped it until we felt like it looked enough like Illinois. And it actually turned out pretty good. But if I were to do it again, I would probably try to implement some kind of technology to get it drawn out, because Illinois is it kind of has some funny shape.
It's an odd, yeah. It has the pregnant hump on the one side.
Yes, yep. And then if you get out into southeastern Illinois, I mean, some of those little turns in the shape are only about 9 miles wide in real life. So on our scale, that's like a foot maybe for each one.
Huh. Literally, you just put a drone up there and then you move the hose around?
That's right. We used a measuring tape.
That's actually pretty impressive.
So we had like some kind of idea as to what kind of scale we were looking at. So we used a measuring tape to kind of help us along. But that's how we made the major portion of the shape and the adjustments, was looking at it with a drone and a garden hose.
So why would this Atkins Group, why would they do this? Why would they, I mean, this can't be cheap.
It's something that's fun for the community and a good way to get engaged with them. Like I mentioned, they're really, really big about living that mission to exceed expectation and enhance the lives of the community. And this is something that certainly fits that. And as soon as we announced the project, before it was even built, the community was already excited about it. So that's when full steam ahead on planting and execution. So,
okay.
Yeah.
How big overall is the whole thing?
So it's 55 feet by 100 feet, so 5,500 square feet.
The whole gardens?
the
Not just the pollinator.
Just the
plot.
pollinator, that's
Yeah.
just the pollinator side. So the Clearview Farm is about 144 acres, which isn't large in terms of what most farms
Not
are.
small though.
But I mean, we grow anywhere from 18 to 22 different crops on that land every year, plus cover crop trials that we use on that. So small plots, a lot of times on even a smaller acreage, is still a lot of work.
You can grow sweet potatoes in Illinois.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Great sweet potatoes. Our
Did you eat
FFA
'em?
member that grew them, I saw the pictures of what she grew, and I don't know what her total pounds ended up being, but it was quite impressive.
Huh. Okay. You are a licensed teacher. You can teach high school?
Yes, that's right. Yep,
Okay.
I can teach high school agriculture.
Why did you do that?
Well, when I was in college, I actually came to college thinking that I really wanted to be a high school agriculture teacher, and that was the career that I saw myself in. It only took a few farm management classes for me to realize that I loved business and that that portion of me was probably what I wanted to be doing on the daily. But the more I thought about it, it's never a bad idea to know how to learn and how to communicate with people. And so I thought if I can communicate about agriculture with high school students, then that will probably be very useful in my career, communicating about agriculture with anybody.
Yeah. The whole problem, though, is you'd have to talk to high school students.
That's a problem?
It is for me.
I actually really enjoyed it. It was fun, and we still have high school students that come out to Clearview Farm frequently to learn about something about agriculture, and so I lean on those skills a lot. High school students are fun, and some of them are curious, and that's when
Some
it's
of them
really
are
nice
punks.
to. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. You get a little bit of that too, but you get a little bit of that in adults sometimes.
Tell me about the boot.
The boot. So this boot was one of my childhood boots growing up on the farm. The dirt on it is probably circa 2008.
You sure that's dirt?
There's no telling this this time, but I think it really represents what my story is as far as growing up on a farm, being somebody that was very hands-on and very high touch in the farm, and how that translates to who I am as a farm manager and what I do with Clearview Farm in the community.
Yeah. What happened to the other one?
I left it at home. I just packed this one, but I probably own this same exact boot in every kid's size that they make. I'm pretty sure my mom just had a standing order every year at our local Rural King to probably
Justin.
get one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice boot. Looks like it's made for walking.
Yeah, you could say that. Are we gonna
Yeah.
play the song? Like, is that?
Oh,
what
you
you're
did
gonna-
get it.
I got it. Yeah.
You just didn't laugh. Okay, let's go back. You live in Fisher.
That's right.
Right? Mm-hmm. And you went to Fisher High School?
Yes, I did.
And what was the mascot?
The mascot is the Fisher Bunnies. So it's funny you ask that because most places that I go within the state of Illinois, I say I'm from Fisher, and everyone says, "Oh, the Fisher Bunnies."
Why? Okay, why? Why go with a bunny? Of all the things you go with the tiger, the bear, the platypus, anything, but you go with the raging bunnies.
So this story of us becoming the bunnies is actually something that kind of happened by accident. So in the 1930s, 40s time frame,
Yeah.
the basketball team would wear rabbit's feet tied to their basketball shorts for good luck, like it was an old wives' tale good luck thing. And the local newspaper wrote a story about the basketball team, jokingly calling us the Fisher Bunnies, and it stuck. And here we are now, almost 100 years later, and we're still the bunnies.
Okay, you did just put a little more brutal aspect to the story, that they would cut the legs off of rabbits and wear them.
Yeah, that just took a turn somewhere else, didn't it?
Hey, did you get made fun of?
I was always proud of being a bunny, so I didn't mind. Yes, I mean, our local rivals, the Fisher Bunnies, but
Yeah.
the joke around
Ooh.
town is always tell those people the only thing worse than being a bunny is getting beat by a bunny. So if you've ever lost to us, if any of the viewers have ever
it's a good
lost to the
point.
Fisher Bunnies in a sporting contest,
Did you guys ever
the joke's
win?
really on them. Did we win?
Ever?
Of course, yeah.
Did you?
Sometimes, yep.
Okay. Fear the ear.
Yep, that's right.
That was your
That was kind of
your battle cry?
tagline that we used. I mean, we have shirts that have a big bunny on them, and right above the ears it says "Fear the Ears." We'd put it on parade floats, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, the thing is, when I think about all the things that scare me in life, I'm never really afraid of a rabbit ear.
Well, maybe that'll change now.
Was it a deal where they were taking the ears off the rabbit and wearing them on their shorts? And,
If that's a part of the story, I've never heard it. But,
never.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I've heard of the, what is it, South Dakota jackrabbits, maybe North Dakota? Don't email me.
I think
I
that
don't
there's
care.
someone in Nebraska, because for a long time I thought that we were probably the only bunnies in the nation, because
Be a
who
safe guess.
becomes the
Yeah.
bunnies? And then I saw a news story about some other bunnies out in Nebraska, but I don't know a lot about that. I've yet to meet one. Maybe one of these days.
The Fisher bunnies. It sounds like a toy that you would have for children, like the Fisher Price
Like
bunnies.
Fisher-Price bunnies.
Yeah. Okay.
That could be a concept there. I know where you could sell about 2,000 of them.
So what's a goal for the future? What do you want to do?
My goal is, I mean, I'm young in my career, so I'm still, learning about being a farm manager. And my goal is with all farms and with farm management is that I hope that every farm that I manage can be better than it was when I started managing it. And so that's something that I use to drive those decisions. And that's a goal that, you never really check it and say, I've achieved it, but over time you start to see those results play through. So that's what I hope to see.
Yeah. As much as I like to make fun of farm managers, I always thought it was like a hard balance, right? Because you have the landowner and you have the farmer, and here you are in between.
That's right.
You're getting complained at from the landowner that you aren't making enough money for them, and the farmer's going, I can't pay you any more money. How do you navigate that?
Well, I think, Rob, that a little bit that's where I start to lean on some of those teaching skills. It's important for landowners to understand how farmers' operations impact the longevity of their land investment. And so to an extent, when I'm working with landowners that haven't been involved in agriculture themselves, it's a little bit about helping them learn and understand about that investment and about that farmland. And I think that plays a big role in it. It's about learning and understanding both sides of the equation. I mean, I work with landowners every day, so I've experienced in that, but I understand where the farmer's coming from, having grown up on a farm.
Yeah. Do you ever just get mad and tell one of them to shut up?
I can't say that I have employed that tactic before, but with every job, there's things that bring you great joy, and then there's times that you have to have uncomfortable conversations, and that's certainly no different than with being a farm manager.
Out of all the farmers that you work with, which one do you like the least?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
Yeah. Somebody popped into mind.
I can't say that there's one that I like the least. I mean, here's the thing. You can't compare apples to oranges, right? Everyone has their own way of doing things. Every land requires a different approach. And so it's really about finding who's the best fit for that, rather than comparing apples to oranges. Is that a good way to roundabout answer?
So no name?
No name.
How about landowners? Which one do you like the least?
No name.
Okay. All right. How do you spell your last name?
My last name is spelled Hortin.
That's wrong,
Why do you say that?
because I heard a who.
Yeah, I get that a lot. So having the last name Horton, I usually see it spelled Horton, and I don't fault people for doing that, because I would think of the book Horton, Here's a Who too,
Yeah.
but I'm spelled Tin.
Okay. Are you on social media?
I am, yes. So Clearview Farm is on social media. You can find that on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And then I'm also on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter personally as Sophia Horton.
With an I.
With an I, that's
Yeah.
right.
You like that LinkedIn?
I do, yes.
Yeah. It's very serious. I don't
It's pretty
understand it.
serious. It's less fun than maybe Instagram, but there's a lot of really good articles on LinkedIn for different things. And they also have LinkedIn Learning, which I really enjoy.
You lost me at article. Sophia, I want to thank you for coming to the show. And I'm really excited to talk to you, because I look at you and I see the future of our industry, and I see the passion, I see the excitement that you have. And I don't know, it makes me feel good, because a lot of times you can just focus on the negative and you can focus on what's wrong with stuff. And then you run into someone like you who forces you to look at the positive. As much as I don't like it, I guess it's okay.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. That's very kind.
It's the oddest compliment you'll ever get. Sophia, thank you. Everybody else, we'll catch you next time.